Oh my goodness, look at this squad today. Welcome to PHNX Cardinals podcast presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Don't forget to hit that like button. Today is a day to celebrate. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a 5-star review. I'm Johnny Venerable, joined as always by Mr. Bo Brock, Frank Sanders, number 81. Gentlemen, we are 1 week away from the start of the 2022 NFL Draft. And boy, oh boy, it was like we got an extra first-round pick today, Bo, by what took place on social media. Frank, don't look at me with that confused look on your face. I have renewed optimism with my Arizona Cardinals, Bo, and that starts with one K1 Kyler Murray.
Yeah, extinguishing any of the rumors that were going to lead up to next week, our draft party. We weren't going to have any like Aaron Rodgers report on draft day like Adam Schefter dropped last year about Kyler Murray, and should there be speculation that he's on his way out the door. Not only did Steve Keim say there's 0% that he was going to be traded, and Kyler going on the bird today and winning the internet, we also had the Cardinals owner, Frank Sanders' boy, Michael Bidwell, telling Kent Summers, tripling down, not just doubling down, tripling down, that their franchise quarterback, Kyler Murray, is indeed not going to be traded. It's a great day. It's one to be celebrated when, this organization has taken some L's this offseason, Frank.
Lies, lies, and more lies. I cannot believe these brothers got on personal primetime television and said that stuff, man. I'm not sold on it. I'm not believing it. The Cardinals are going to do what's in the best interest of the Cardinals right now. It sounds good. I'm just not sold on it, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not sold on it.
That's fine. You don't have to be sold on it because K1 is here to doubt for you doubters, Frank Sanders and Chase Edmonds. Chase Edmonds, a.k.a. we're giving him a little keep our quarterback's name out of your mouth, Chase Edmonds. Go to Miami and hang with Tua. That's right. Give him the Will Smith treatment. Did K1. Let's pull up the screenshot here. By the way, before I do this, K1, Chase Edmonds, supposedly very close. Buddies, right?
Right.
But when you get in somebody's pocketbooks and start speaking out your mouth, and it's a negative reflection on that player, I'm sorry. Let me make sure I get the right bite here. This is Kyler Murray subtweeting NFL on CBS. Chase Edmonds yesterday said, for those of you who are listening to audio format, no disrespect to the Arizona Cardinals. I feel like they don't put the team in a position to be successful year after year, and Kyler Murray's not going to sit around and wait for that. And then Patrick Peterson, they all basically said like, yeah, K1's out of there eventually. He's gone. The Cardinals, it's a terrible culture organization. To which Kyler Murray, less than 24 hours after this was posted, Kyler Murray subtweets this and says, quote, I want to win Super Bowls with the Cardinals. AZ is home. Basically saying, Chase Edmonds, I love you, my brother. Shut the fuck up. You are not a part of this team anymore, right? Move on. Patrick Peterson, good hell. Move on. This is K1's team, whether he's got his extension or not.
Question. Would Chase Edmonds, did he want to leave the Cardinals? Nope. Did Patrick Peterson want to leave the Cardinals?
Yeah,
nope.
yes, he did once upon a time.
Because the same thing that's coming out of Chase Edmonds' mouth, I've heard out of was es comunicare out of the Cardinals organization. Trust me, bro. I hear what you're saying, and this is a great statement by Kyler. He says, I want to win Super Bowls with the Cardinals.
Plural.
AZ is home until it's not my home anymore, and that's how it is across the board. Well, I want this to be the best station on the planet. PHNX Cardinals 1 Thigh Wow. Got the tattoo to prove it. PHNX right there. K2 tattoo to prove it. Guess what? If they didn't sign Kliff Kingsbury, I'd probably change my my tattoo to a Johnny Venerable tattoo pretty fast, Bo.
Me too.
I
want a
JV
tattoo. Give me some of the ink. But look, let's take it easy on Chase. I think Chase was Chase was brought in, and like you everybody gets kind of taken into these conversations. You get dragged into the mud. Like I said yesterday, it was like two people who dated the same person, and they just get to talk and they get to chirping and they start to say some things like Chase doesn't even truly believe in. Let's actually take back, Chase didn't say the quote we put up there. That was P2. That was P3, my guy, Petty Patrick Peterson. He was the one that was saying it, Frank. And he's the one that can't keep the Cardinals off his lips. He wants nothing but bad things to happen to his former organization because he felt like he was done wrong, even though he did himself dirty. Chase Edmonds, all he said was Kyler needs to be paid. True. He also said that the team was frustrated after back-to-back seasons, after they kind of folded at the end. Good. I'm glad everybody was frustrated and that things were boiling over. You shouldn't be happy with how things ended. I don't think that Chase Edmonds said anything out of line. He just was maybe guilty by association hanging out there with P3.
You are who your friends. You are who your friends are. It's like my parents always used to tell me, Johnny,
you are who you date.
We're worried about the people you surround yourself with. If I'm Chase Edmonds and I get asked to be on this program that is 99% of the time anti-Cardinals, I know what the agenda will be. He knew what he was signing up for. Chase, you were a great pick. Go get your money. No state tax in South Beach, Florida. But stop. Kyler Murray's situation, Chase, is not the same as your meager contract from a fourth-round running back.
It's one touchdown.
Hey, guys.
One touchdown last year.
Right. But you're saying that as Chase our running back position, without a doubt. And he did that. And unfortunately, there was a situation where he got a little hurt, little situation. But Chase Edmonds is not a little. He's another one of those Steve Keim picks that we let it go. That is a young stud that was wanted by another organization. That myself, I don't think the Miami Dolphins picked up a bad pick. I think they got a hell of a running back. And unfortunately, we might see another running back, another player leave our team that's going to another team that will become successful. So when we're talking about Chase Edmonds, we got to think that it wasn't that he didn't want to be here. They let him go. And that's a position.
Sour grapes. Sorry.
James Conner took your money. Why do y'all call it sour grapes when this guy is still talented and available? He was drafted.
Here's what I care about right here. Here's what I care about. DeAndre Hopkins.
I'm done.
On his Instagram.
I can't do it.
Let's go.
Kyler Murray's quote. Basically, the guys who are here want to be here. The nucleus of the elites. Sorry, Chase Edmonds. You were not.
Chase didn't want to be here. Chase didn't want to be here.
But not
out of your mouth, Johnny.
If Chase wanted to be here, he would have taken a large pay
Cardinals
cut.
have a Pro Bowl running back.
You said he would have took both.
No, I'm saying, look, he had the choice whether he wanted to secure the bag or whether he wanted to play in a place. Look, and I understand it was a business decision, and that's what it's coming down to, and that's what Peterson's still up in arms. It's like they made a business decision. They moved off you, dude. Like you had 2 down seasons at the wrong time after a trade request. And look, I think that Chase got drawn in. He was rolling around in the mud with his former teammate. But here's the thing, now the Arizona Cardinals can kind of check a box with this one. It's like, okay, it's not as bad as people are making it out to be. Kyler Murray doesn't want immediately out of the desert. We can stop the talk about his timeline, about him wanting to be traded before the NFL draft. He said he wants to win multiple Super Bowls here in the desert. Steve Keim says 0 chance he's being dealt. Now they need to figure out. He also gets some Ian Rapoport's mentions, and he says, should Kyler Murray be traded? Steve Keim said 0 chance, and Kyler Murray hit that with a hundy. Says 100% that's correct. 0 chance I'm getting traded. So the Cardinals at some point, is there been any conversation now that, just wait. We're going to pay you. It's going to happen.
Oh, my God.
So let's not.
Frankly, you need to listen to this. Okay. I feel like, First of all,
bring me home. First
of all, everybody in the don't rain on everybody's parade in the comments. This is a celebratory day. Kyler Murray and Steve Keim and Michael Bidwell and Eric Burkhart, I can say it feels like they're on the same page. I don't know that definitively. We went from pressures on because of the fact that there is a soft or hard deadline by the NFL draft. Now it's Kyler Murray is actively going on to Twitter, a place that he just usually goes to promote ads. He is not active on social media, in part because that's great. I don't need him to be active on social media. He's not only tweeting this out, but then he's got a couple responses, not only Ian Rapoport, but then to Colin Cowherd, who basically critiqued his work ethic today. Colin basically compared Kyler Murray to Aaron Rodgers, aloof, talented, but basically, they don't put the team first, right? They're me guys before we guys, to which Kyler Murray responds with, and Kyler's been on the show. Colin Cowherd has Keim on the show. It's a friend of the Cardinals, is this program. Kyler goes, run with whatever narratives y'all want to run with, but questioning my work ethic, we not going for. Stop playing with me, Colin. I still rock with you, but come on. I think Kyler Murray, I think his agent, I think the Cardinals know this deal's going to get done. It's going to get done after the draft. Everybody take a deep breath, right? I would not be surprised if by late May, early June, after the draft, maybe after a couple, filler free agent additions, this gets done and we move on. I just feel like if Kyler Murray's camp, we saw them put pressure on the Cardinals late February, early March. They would still be doing that if they felt like there was not light at the end of the tunnel, Bo.
Right, absolutely. And I think that people are asking me today on Twitter saying, hey, why didn't he speak out earlier? Why didn't he do this back in January and February? He's like, well, he was letting his guy Eric Burkhart try to get him his deal then. He was letting this guy work because, Frank, I got to imagine, I mean, I've never been represented by anybody. I'm sure you dealt with your agent all the time. You just have to have just trust in those guys. So Kyler was trusting his guy, thinking, okay, let's get the deal done now. I mean, why not? If you're going to pay me now, let's do it. So he was letting Burkhart work for him, right? You just have to have that. If you're going to hire somebody as your agent, you just have to have 100% trust in those guys. Am I correct?
I would agree that you should, to the point that you realize that they are really working for you or they're working against you. The conversation was that, Kyler was the bad guy or Eric Burkhart was the bad guy for trying to put the Cardinals in a bad situation and trying to force their hand. And now I see that this is the part where I have to take a back seat and say, I admire what Kyler's doing right now, only from the standpoint that they must have told Kyler something. They must have already said to Kyler that finally, we got your back. We're going to give you this. This is the amount you will get, and this is the narrative on the table right now. Because prior to this moment right now, Kyler said absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing in regards to all the naysayers of what Eric was being punished about. He was the wrong guy. Kyler said nothing. He's defending Kyler now and his position with the Cardinals. And to me, I feel like something has been said, and therefore he can stand with 2 feet planted on the ground that Kyler Murray will be a Cardinal for the next 4 or 5 years based upon what he's doing now. I would say it'd be a shame to all of us that and win Super Bowls and that, come on, you don't talk to Colin Cowherd. You don't do that to him if you didn't think you had the back to say that based upon your work ethics. That to me says right now, I believe Kyler knows that they got a contract deal on the table and that it will happen along the same lines of what, Bo, you've been saying over the last couple of months, last couple of shows, which is in June and July.
Another interesting note from this Nugget presser, something we've speculated, asked if Kyler Murray if they were worried about his absence. They said no from voluntary workouts, but quote, they do expect him, Bo, sometime for these workouts. I think that's pretty on par with last offseason. You remember 2 off seasons ago, they didn't have this because of COVID. Kyler got everybody together in Dallas, thrown with D-Hop after the D-Hop deal. Last year, he showed up a couple days after the start. I just checked Instagram, James Conner, DeAndre Hopkins working out, working the hurdles, the ladders, doing some weights. I think we see Kyler Murray. I don't know this definitively. It feels like next week, the draft, all the hoopla, I think we get Kyler Murray back for workouts in the facility. It just feels like he's back next week. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, I mean, next week might still be a little bit early. We saw him late May last year, but it was a different time frame. It doesn't matter. I mean, do you feel, let me ask you this, Johnny. I mean, do you feel like today, I know it's on Twitter, and I know that like it's and Michael Bidwell said some people kind of get lost in social media, but you think this is a sign of Kyler Murray showing leadership, finally speaking out and kind of putting a stop to all this press and speculation?
Yeah, I don't love the Cowherd response because I think that's a little bit Baker Mayfield-esque. I don't think he has to stoop to that level, but I do think that like the response to Ian Rapoport was probably my favorite thing of the day. Just he's like, yeah, my GM says I'm not being traded. I'm not being traded because if I wanted to trade, I would force a trade. Like Deshaun Watson, like Deebo Samuel's attempting to do. I that's the best thing I saw today. It's like, hey guys, whatever you think, contracts otherwise, I'm playing for the Arizona Cardinals. I want to win Super Bowls here. I have no intention of playing elsewhere. I'm not being traded. And I have the ownership support. And I don't think Kyler wants to be traded. I don't think he wants to uproot his life that he's established here in Arizona. I think he has relationships here that he cares about, team members that he cares about. I mean, like the organization is riding on Kyler Murray, but Kyler Murray is riding on this organization as well. They're again, we've talked about it. They're tied to each other. Keim, Kingsbury, Kyler Murray. those three individuals are tied to each other for better or worse. And I think Kyler Murray, something deep down, if you'd have to sit with him and speak with him one-on-one, because I don't think he's ever going to give us this in an interview or face-to-face. I think he takes a lot of pride in this franchise having no homegrown quarterbacks to speak of, and him being the first overall pick that's really panned out at the quarterback position and breaking franchise records and taking this franchise to new heights. Like we talked about yesterday, Chase Edmonds bitching and moaning about the culture of the Cardinals and be like the Steelers and the Packers. I think Kyler Murray, just like Kurt Warner once upon a time and Carson Palmer, they relish the opportunity of winning a championship for the first time for this organization, Frank Sanders.
I would say negative to most of the 90% of the stuff you just said, because I didn't really honestly no. And the reason just again, Kyler is only standing on the grounds that Steve Keim and Michael both have come out and said something prior to this conversation and prior to what they said the last couple of 24 hours. He's done nothing about this Arizona Cardinals in any tweet or subtweet or some social media aspects, not once. So that's why I go back and say they must have told him something that the deal will be done. I agree with that. Johnny, you go where the money goes. And if the money is not here, he's going to go someplace else. He's been the blunt. He's been the punching bag of the entire offseason, the entire time since we left LA. It's all been on Kyler. So in my best estimation, Kyler right now can feel comfortable to come out and say what he's saying right now, because they must have told them something on the back end. Because before that, he had said nothing. If Keim had not come out and said anything pertaining to Kyler Murray, I don't think we'd have that same backing. And if Michael hadn't done the same thing, I don't think we have the same backing. So I believe there's a deal done, done on the back end, and therefore he can come out and be as bold as he want to be. This is not leadership. This is just money. Money's being talked. You talk the right talk. I'll back you guys right now. Prior to that, he backed them. He had no conversation to say about those guys. I've asked for that. Why didn't the Cardinals come out and say something? They haven't said anything. They finally said
I don't
something.
disagree with that. Listen, I'm not saying I disagree with the fact that Kyler's happier now, because it feels like there's been positive talks. And to Jalen Blair's, comments in the chat, he said, I think Keim and Bidwell finally extended an olive branch. Well, we know up until maybe 2 weeks ago, they hadn't had any talks. No. So it feels like, yes, there's been an olive branch of some kind. And to Frank's point, probably a lot of it has to do with money. But Bo, I feel like maybe Kyler was just waiting for that olive branch.
It'd be nice to have. He's been a punching bag.
And I'm sure Kyler, growing up in the era that he did in social media and being on Twitch and being pretty active, it was tough for him to stay quiet when there was all this noise. He said it in his statement. He's not about that. He's not about all this nonsense. I'm sure it was tough, but he was letting his guy, Eric Burkhart, do his work and see if they could pull off the deal early. He couldn't. I'm sure Burkhart was like, okay, this is where we are. Maybe they had a conversation with the Cardinals. Maybe they didn't. Maybe the Cardinals were like, hey, those reports about Jameson Williams, we love him. We're going to go get that guy for you. Or Jalen Burks, if he's there at 23, we're going to get you a guy at 23 that's going to make your life easier. I don't know what it was, but whatever reason, Kyler Murray, he pulled off the little filter today and was unfiltered, hitting at a couple, heavy hitters on Twitter and in the national media.
Hey, brothers, I'm happy, though. Like, when I say this, though, respectfully, though, I really do.
Yeah.
I was the guy who said trade him, right? And I thought I put it out there, trade him, because the way you're treating him, he should be traded. He just there's no celebration of your star quarterback who's two-time Pro Bowler. There's no celebration that happened after the Rams game. He's been the punching bag. So that, to me, I'm happy with today. Like, I'm happy that there is some part of an olive branch, and there's a part that says Kyler's defending the Cardinals despite the narrative that's been out there about trading him and the trade rumors. And I'm glad that Michael and Steve came out and said something about their star quarterback. That is important, to know that you're wanted, to know that you're celebrated and not just tolerated. And if that's the case right now, look, I'm happy that I want him as my quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. I would love to play for Kyler Murray as my starting quarterback. Whatever the shenanigans they said, I don't care. I would love that, because I know that we're heading in the right direction with somebody that has the ability and the talent to take us to a next level. And if are you a betting guy? Tell you what, you better bet on Kyler, because I believe that inside of him, talent-wise, Bo, he's definitely a winner.
Yeah, I feel like the Cardinals, they're playing with house money after today, and you could be too, using the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The NBA playoffs mean next level basketball. Get in on the first round of action with DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. The good news is you cannot look at Kyler Murray future odds on DraftKings because he is staying an Arizona Cardinal by and large. This week, new customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets instantly, no matter what. All DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also bet on NBA hoops with same-game parlays. Plus, each day of the first round, which we are still in, minus Devin Booker, get a risk-free bet up to $10 if your same-game parlay does not hit. Bet the Suns, baby. Bet them to the moon. I do think they're going to rally and beat the Pelicans. Booker hopefully will be back for round 2. It's a call to action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use that promo code PHNX. Bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game. If you're in the first round, get $150 in free bets instantly. That's promo code PHNX at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. In Arizona only, 21 and over. Gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customer only. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook. Again, we are 1 week, gentlemen, away from the 2022 NFL Draft. We're going to give you some insight, hopefully, into what Keim and Kliff are thinking. But get your primer ready. Get your RSVPs in because almost to the T, 1 exact week from right now, we're going to be live at the Ainsworth, downtown Phoenix, April 28th, 4 p.m. Byron Murphy will be there with us. We're going to be kicking off draft coverage in style, complete coverage of the first round. We're going to be live, food and drink specials, giveaways, myself, Bo Brock, Frank Sanders, Damian Anderson, Marshall Ship, Deuce Latui, Sean Phillips. Frankly, too many to name in the star-studded event. Come out, support PHNX, have a good time. The first 50 people through the door, free photo, autograph, handshake, meet and greet with Byron Murphy. Come kick it. PHNX Cardinals Live, April 28th, 4 p.m. at the Ainsworth. Gentlemen, I cannot wait.
It's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah, man. It's going to be crazy. Excited. Look, this is the time where you're looking for your team to actually make some transition. This is the moment right now. You got a stud quarterback. The draft is always the springboard to something new, something to express and be excited about. If you come into the event, bring a sign, bring a board, bring something that talks about, winning, the Cardinals winning, PHNX winning, what we're doing for the Cardinals. Bring something. Come dressed up to the nine. Come dressed up like you just got drafted, because I'm gonna come dressed like I got drafted. I'm not coming in I'm having a PHN. I'm coming in a jacket, some tight pants, some nice shoes, a hella fly belt, a hat turned backwards with my PHNX on it, a PHNX shirt. I'm coming just like I got drafted. I might bring out the gold chain and some rings so I could shine. It's the day, bro. Like that's like the epitome of your life changing. You imagine what PHNX Cardinals are going to be like, man, after we call up the first pick, man, and the second pick, and then we got then Steve does his magic, pull out some special sauce. He goes in his little bag of tricks, man, and we got 2 first-round draft picks right now because we don't know what he just did. What? That's the kind of magic I'm looking for, bruh. That's what draft day brings about. It's going to be a change. And look, Bo, you know what it feels like, baby. That's what it feels like.
You're the only one that knows how it feels like back in 1995.
Feels like magic. That's what I'm talking about.
Bo and I are year after year undrafted.
That's right. Frank, what was your draft day fit when you got your name
called
in
the
second
we didn't have that back then, man.
No?
We were sitting at home watching a boob tube, and then like the little teleprompter at the bottom of the screen. It was shit you couldn't. It was only They told me this is what I will respect about the draft. Mel Kiper said, Frank, you'll be the late first round or early second round pick. You'll be the 4th receiver taken in the draft. And he called it. He pulled a Nostradamus on us without a problem. Joey Galloway, Michael Westbrook, and J.J. Stokes went before me. The Cardinals traded their first round pick for Rob Moore. Buddy Ryan said he wanted big, tall receivers to dominate on the outside. And he came and got me with the second round pick. And that to me was one of the best days. Funny thing about it was on draft day, Bo, I said, God, I don't care where you send me someplace warm and a team that needs me. The hottest place in town is the Arizona Cardinals. There's no hotter team. And guess what? Buddy Ryan had got rid of all 3 of his starting receivers, Reggie, Ricky Prohl, and there was one more R on the Bucks. I forgot it. But guess what? They brought me in and I had to win the job, and I did. And me and
it was answered prayer.
We got David Boston.
Yep. Yep, back-to-back 1,000-yard receiving seasons. I'm sure you were calling your agent, "Hey, get me a new contract."
Show me the money. I did. I actually got a new contract by my third year. I went from a 3-year deal to a 5-year deal. 5 years, 16 million, somewhere in that number. That's a pissy ant moment right now when you're talking about 5-year, $135 million for a wide receiver in NFL. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
Played in the wrong era, Frank Sanders.
Hey, look, I was born at a time where bell bottoms and platforms were still amazing.
Let me say this before we get into our Steve Keim and Kliff Kingsbury draft talk. Children 5 and older are eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccine, the best tool we have to reduce the chances of getting sick. The vaccine can reduce the risk of being hospitalized or dying from the disease. Safe, free, and highly effective vaccines are available throughout Arizona. Visit azhealth.gov/find vaccine for a location near you, Johnny.
Oh my goodness. We got some great comments to get through. So Frank in the 90s says, "Bees, these mother what drafted me ain't on my level. Let's be honest." Jalen says 5 years, 16 million. They robbed you, Frank.
Robbed me. I'm still pissed.
Get a lifetime contract. That'd be nice. Time to draft Frank in the supplemental draft. Get Kyler some legit wide receiver help. Jordan P. I feel like, Bo, that's in the offseason. It's like what the Cardinals need is somebody like Frank Sanders, a big physical outside receiver that played and dominated the SEC. And who does that sound like? Well, Steve Keim and company spoke to the media today, and they flat out listed their big three in terms of the needs for this organization. Now, this doesn't mean, put a big fat caveat, that they have to only draft these positions at pick 33, Bo. But they said, I think in this order, edge rusher, receiver, cornerback, because, quote, those are the hardest positions to find and secure and probably pay, Bo.
Yeah, and look, at least I said this yesterday. I think this is one of the most useless press conferences, and it actually turned out a bunch of gold diamonds because what they said about Kyler and because that they actually acknowledged the needs. And we heard, I mean, you should be concerned about the cornerback position because Kliff Kingsbury mentioned it back in his availability at the Combine. He said that's going to be a position that they're going to address, that they felt like they fell short in last season. So, and then they're tied to guys like McDuffie and, you know, who else? I mean, they've been you've seen them at a couple different pro days and you've seen them holding visits for different guys coming into town. So we'll see. I mean, you hope that, you know, the right receiver is there at 23 and that they have him ranked because Steve Keim still claims that he takes best player available, that they have that wide receiver ahead of the corner when it comes to 23 overall.
It's scary. It scares me because I feel like we talked about this yesterday. I don't think Andre Booth out of Clemson is an option for them. I've heard that they're concerned about his medical history. So you're right. So like Sauce Gardner, we don't think is an option going too high. Stingley Jr. from LSU, not an option too high. Okay. So what does that leave us with? It leaves us with Trent McDuffie, who I think right now, I mean, it's a very legitimate option because of the fact this organization has hit it big with cornerbacks from Washington. I would hate that pick for a lot of different reasons, not the player, but I just think he's a tweener corner who probably projects better as a safety. Cardinals don't need a safety. Bo, we've talked about it throughout the duration of the offseason. He's too much like what they already have. He's not a ball hawk. He's physical. I mean, it's like another Byron Murphy, and you've got Byron Murphy, and the Cardinals like Byron Murphy. Then the other player to look at, well, could they double down on Florida cornerbacks? Kaiir Elam is a first-round prospect, probably fringe first-rounder out of Florida, Marco Wilson's teammate of a year ago. That's a little concerning. Outside of that, though, I really feel like, number one, our boy George Karlaftis, they have had individual sessions with him. I don't think he's available 23. So then it's like, okay, well, what could even, because we talked about the receivers to death at this point. It's all of our preferences for them. I think Damian wants an edge rusher, but like outside of Karlaftis, what could you sniff around? Yeah. Jobu, I think, would definitely be an option if he was not hurt out of Michigan. Yeah.
Then you like look Mafe.
And then the Arnold from Penn State. I can't even pronounce his last name. It starts with an E. I feel like they would have some interest in a trade down scenario, but you can't take that kid at 23. I mean, just like at the end of the day, we're trying to will it into existence because we feel like it's their biggest need. The best value of any position right now, if you stay at 23, is going to be a receiver, assuming that Dotson or goodness, somebody like Drake London, or of course Treylon Burks, or if they trade up, which they talked about doing today, Frank, like those are the best possible options for this team, especially when you consider like, yeah, somebody's going to get their ears wet playing corner next year, but they're not going to make an impact for this team next year. Like Treylon Burks or Jamison Williams in the second half, once he's fully recovered, like those guys are helping the Cardinals make a playoff run. Deebo Samuel in his rookie season helped get the 49ers to a Super Bowl. Now I will say the right kind of edge rusher can do that too. I just don't think in this draft, I don't think that player exists. Certainly not at 23.
The conversation for the Arizona Cardinals is that, and the optics are that we should go outside in regards to wide receiver position. I'm still not sold on it. I'm rocking with DA because the most hurting part that our offense and our team has struggled with is the defensive line and the Mike linebacker for the most part. We had Jordan Hicks, but the exterior-wise, our linebacking core and our front seven on defense it's just been bad. And bad in regards to the fact that JJ didn't give us a full season. Chandler was up and down. And he didn't play to the guy that we thought was going to play after 5 sacks in the first game of the season versus Tennessee. Just didn't do the same thing. So that was totally dismal on that in that respects. And Zaven Collins, he never played much, and that to me is again another slap in the face. We need our defense to be strong up front to stop the running game, to get pressure on the quarterback, and to be handily giving our offense an opportunity for the ball back. So to me, I get it. We need receivers. That would be nice to have. We got AJ, we got D Hobbs. Now we got Xavier, and we still got Rondell Moore along with Zach Ertz, who we didn't have at the beginning of the season, bringing back Max Williams and James Conner. So honestly, that's a better 5 when you look at on the offensive side of the ball. Of course, with the offensive line additions that we've added. We've done nothing on our defensive line. We've done nothing in our linebacking core. And those are the 2 most pressing points right now that need to be answered. I got to stick with that. And I don't know who they're going to find, but I know that would be, to me, in the locker room, that would be my most pressing issue, Bo.
Yeah, I just feel like if they go offense, then they can flood the position later in the draft with edge rushers, guys that you just tell them to go get the quarterback. You put them in a rotational role, and you can find a couple of those guys in the drop off from the first tier of pass rushers that are going to go, the Walkers, the Hutchinsons, Kayvon Thibodeau's, even down to Jermaine Johnson. Like after that, there is a steep drop off. And if you go out and get a Karlaftis guy and he's playing 20 to 30% of the snaps and he racks up 4 sacks, like, is it worth 23 overall? I just don't think so. I think if you get a guy, say it's a plug and play guard like Zion Johnson, or if you get one of these wide receivers, you found a person that's going to be able to take your offense to the next level. Or defensively, he's going to make a couple plays. But, a cornerback, you'd probably be better served to re-sign Robert Alford, to come back and play a couple snaps instead of, I know it's not reliable, but, when he's out there, when he's taken out, do you want a rookie or Robert Alford who's one-on-one with Cooper Kupp in 2 games this year?
I want a Robert Alford. And can I just say this too? I expect him to re-sign Byron Murphy. I think can we take a pulse of the room? I feel like we all expect that. That means if we fast forward to next year, barring something unforeseen, Gladney, Marco Wilson, because he's still on his rookie contract and hopefully ascending, and Byron Murphy would be under contract. So you take one of these kids at 23. What does that help you with? I don't know what that, and I got people in my comments on, well, you need 4 corners. Awesome. Take a developmental guy later or keep re-signing Robert Alford to 1-year deals. Took Byron Murphy 33rd overall. He's going to be at our event next Thursday. We refer to him CB1, right? I thought Marco Wilson, before he hit a rookie wall, was a really nice number 2 corner. And he's he was good until when? Corner.
He was good until Robert Alford went out.
Yeah, they're fine. And they've got safeties. Well, but he's a kid. He threw a shoe. And they've got safeties who can cover like corners. I am over this. I hope it's a smokescreen. They're giving Gladney a 2-year deal. It's the only multi-year contract they've given to an outside free agent this offseason. That's real money. That means he's going to play for them. You know who's not going to play a lot? The kid from Florida. He'll be on everybody. Oh, he looks great on special teams. Oh, did you see him almost block that kick? Oh, yeah, we're losing by 30 because we can't score points or we can't run block. Awesome. That and the Karlaftis argument of a guy who had 4 sacks in the Big Ten, I don't want to hear it. If Jermaine Johnson is there, hell yeah, you draft him. I'm not saying I'm anti-edge rusher. I'm anti-edge rusher because I know at pick 23 what's going to be available. I love your idea, Bo. Steve Keim special, a la Marcus Golden. Not a lot of people knew who Marcus Golden was, and they were able to slow play it right. They missed out on Shane Ray and Bud Dupree in that first round. What'd they do? Stuck to their board, took him. He's become one of their best pass rushers the last decade. Do that again, Steve. But in the first round, I need the first round should be about, can we get a sure thing? I want a sure thing. You know who's not a sure thing? A kid from Greece, I apologize, that had 4 sacks in the Big Ten, a rotational corner in the first year. I want a guy who's going to come in and smoke A.J. Green in camp day one. Jamison Williams does that when he's healthy, and Treylon Burks does that. Brother,
everything you're saying about that makes sense. Only the fact that you guys are forgetting who's paid the most at the wide receiver position.
Well, DeAndre Hopkins.
So where's the ball going to most of the time?
No, but you need multiple weapons to get to the Super Bowl.
I hear what you're saying, but that multiple weapons conversation comes back. Who won the Super Bowl this year was the Rams. Who pushed the Rams to win the Super Bowl? The defensive line. The defense.
But it took Matthew Stafford.
The Bengals had T. Higgins.
What you're saying?
Again, Jamar Chase.
Everything you're saying.
Both those teams had 3 stud receivers.
Everything you're saying is those 3 stud receivers. The guy that pushed that team to win was Aaron Donald. You need a defensive line, a defensive front.
This is not the year to do it.
When OBJ went out in that game, they were a completely different offense. Like when you're one-dimensional, or you just know where the ball's going every time.
If the Cardinals were picking
didn't stop it though.
Top 10, I would say don't take one of these receivers top 10 because that's not good value. Take one of these edge rushers or these. I would be all about where they're picking. And where they're picking, the value is not there for them to take a defensive player. I just don't think there's good value in it, Bo.
Now here's what I'll say about, and I see it in the comments too, a lot of people saying, Burks and what Gambo's saying. It's like, look, sometimes as far as the smoke screen goes, and I'm not just saying this because Gambo, for whatever reason, blocked me. I've never even said a bad word about the guy in my life. He might be part of the smoke screen. He's saying you're going to have a major reporter saying that the Cardinals are out on him, but the meetings are telling me differently. Treylon Burks has met with this team. Johnny's confirmed it twice. Once at the combine, and then he came, and I'm sure he had a great steak 44 dinner at some point on camera.
He's one of like 2 or 3 prospects, and we're logging everything, that has met with this team more than once. Like, he's come to Arizona, and they've met with him and have done their due diligence. Now, they did the same thing once upon a time with Deshaun Kaiser a week before the draft. And lo and behold, I thought they were trading up in 2017 for Kaiser. Thank my good God that it was for Budda Baker and not Deshaun Kaiser. So it could be just, we got to make sure. Maybe they're double checking, right? Because maybe they saw Burks at the combine and they said, we're not interested. And now everybody and their mother loves Burks because, of course, why wouldn't you? So they're like, okay, maybe let's double check and make sure we didn't miss anything. Or it could be, we love this guy. Let's get him around our people. Let's take him out to dinner. Football IQ. Let's test it out. Let's maybe get him around D-Hop. Let's do some stuff with him. But I thought it was interesting, gentlemen. Didn't mention guard today, but I don't think that precludes them from taking a guard at 23 because I don't think
I would throw up if they went and got a guard.
No,
I will walk out. I tell you, I'm gonna drink 3 shots in a row if they get a guard. I'll drink 4 shots in a row.
You're gonna do that anyway.
I probably am. If they get a guard, I'm telling you, look, if you come to the party and they get a guard, you meet me in the back corner because we definitely shotgunning 2 double beers and then 2
make your reservation now at the Ainsworth.
Make your reservation right now. They draft a guard, meet me in the back corner, make your reservations. We're taking shots and shotgunning beers. Hell no. Steve better not pull no rats. Come on, man.
What's key as far as Kliff's offense goes? The interior pressure. If you can,
we don't know
if you can solidify that. Yeah, as far as the air raid, like the Achilles heel of the air raid. If you can get a guy, especially like 99 for LA, who is just constantly
can't sell me on this. Can't sell me on this. Bo, you can't sell me on this. Bo.
You can always use an offensive lineman. I just don't look as much as I want a wide receiver, just like you. I think we've talked into it.
Let me do what the fans are doing right now. Let me do what people are doing right now. Bo, You can't promise me Jamison Williams, and you can't promise me like Ty Burks.
No one's promising you.
No, I'm saying you can't. But we can't have this. We can't have this major conversation about the best 4-3 athletes on the planet, and we're gonna go grab a guard. We can't have this conversation.
All right, hang on.
I'll tell you what, Bill Belichick likes those big hog mollies, pushing people around.
Look how small he is. You have to get him some adequate help up front, and he can't see over Aaron Donald, and it pushes the pile, and he has to run around, and he's doing this a lot, right? So let him stand in the pocket and throw darts, and Zion Johnson and the green kid from A&M, who they met with, allows them to do that. All right. So again, is it our preference? No, but an investment in the offense,
yes,
is an investment in Kyler Murray. No more first-round picks for you, Vance Joseph. You screwed the pooch too many times. You make good with what you have. It's like when you go to the grocery store or you go to the toy store with your mom when you're a kid, and you're like, you have toys at home that you haven't even played with yet. I'm not buying you that new action figure. That's what's happening with Vance Joseph. No shiny new George Karlaftis barf out of Purdue for you. No new cornerback for you, Vance Joseph. Let me see you play with the toys that you have already. And then I'll debate on whether or not I'm going to get you a second or third round developmental player. Give Kliff Kingsbury a skill player, damn it.
For the first time ever, outside of, drafting him a quarterback, the one he wanted.
In the first round, right? Yeah. I want to remind everybody again, the party is starting a week from today, live at the Ainsworth. Frank, he's already committed to multiple shots if they take a guard. That's happening way before pick 23, I can rest assure you. 4 p.m., we're going to be kicking it with the Cardinals' one true corner, Byron Murphy. I cannot wait. The Ainsworth is a restaurant. For those of you who don't know, it's not a hotel. PHNX Cardinals Live. We're going to have food and drink giveaways. If you're not there, what are you doing? This is the draft party of the season. We want to hang out with you guys. We want to get to know you guys. The PHNX community wants to bring you in, and we want to celebrate this gigantic affair. It's probably going to be our biggest event to date since we launched. I'm so excited, Bo, and don't miss it.
Yeah, I'm excited also to announce our new partner for PHNX Sports, of course, OG's. OG's Brands is part of the PHNX family. OG's is one of Arizona's first original scratch-made cannabis kitchens dedicated to creating an innovative, memorable cannabis-infused products that flavor life's journey. It might be April 21st. The day after 420, but you can still celebrate like it's 420 with OG's. Edibles, not a one-size-fits-all product, which is why OG's is proud to offer a wide range of products for all demographics and preferences. Flavoring life, that's their motto, and you can get in on flavoring your own life with some OG's. You want to learn more about OG's, go to ogsbrands.com. That's OGEEZ brands.com. It's also my mom's birthday today, by the way. Happy birthday,
happy
Mom.
Birthday, Bo's mom.
Hey,
Easy, no steroids in the chat. Frank, will you take a virtual shot with me? I'm in Oregon in enemy territory.
Brother, anytime you want to. Anytime you want. You tell me what you're drinking, we'll take shots all day long. Got no problem with it.
Bo, I'm gonna start calling you Bo blocked because you're blocked from Gambo. But we're gonna fix that. Again,
I was randomly blocked by him and Chandler Jones. Like I never said a word.
Are you blocked by Mike Jarecki though? That's the real question.
No, Jarecki does not block me. He unfollowed me after we stopped working together.
That seems like a professional thing to do. Most of us here are blocked by Jarecki, so pour one out. Happy birthday, Mrs. Brock. Absolutely. Again, tomorrow we will be back for our Friday show. PHNX Cardinals Live, 4 p.m. I want to remind everybody, follow us. Go to gophnx.com. I got an article right now pleading the Cardinals to please draft Treylon Burks. 50 cents for the first month, $8.99 for the subsequent months, or you can pay just under $60 and get Bo Brock's phenomenal t-shirt right now from the PHNX merchandise locker. It is off the chain. I think we're going to have a bunch of PHNX Cardinal gear, hopefully next Thursday during the draft party. So hopefully you can partake a little bit in that quality goodness. Again, be sure to follow us at PHNX_Cardinals on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube, PHNX Sports. Frank Sanders, 81. Bo Brock, at Bo Brock. I'm Johnny Venerable. We'll be back tomorrow. See you later.